Because like I say, this was making a different type of ticking noise. Okay, not your typical. It was making that noise too, but I heard. I have a trained ear now that I can tell. I pretty much can hear or tell if it's a broken rocker arm. Okay, even if it's a collapsed lifter, that gives off a different type of tick. Okay, now when you are starving for oil, that sets off a different type of tick. Okay, so it really all depends on the noise. As you can see, this thing is heavily carbon, not carbon, sludge. Yes, it's sludge. It's been starving for oil. Okay, so this, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much a lack of maintenance. All right, that is a big chunk of sludge. Okay, both cylinders heads. All right, with this being a ProMaster V6 3.6 liter Pentastar, look at that. Ah, look at that. Okay, so it depends on how much money they want to put into it. Will determine the next procedure or the next repair or the next state. Okay, because when we see this here at the dealer, we pretty much recommend an engine, because you're never gonna get all this out. I don't care how much you clean. Most of this sludge has made its way to the oil pan. Okay, and as you know, if an oil pan's job is to deliver oil, pressure oil to the valve train, there could be some restrictions. Okay, all these little oil ports could get clogged up with the sludge and essentially starve the valve train. Okay, now I'm so upset at myself. I didn't get a chance to film the original noise, because I wanted you to hear the difference. Okay, it doesn't really matter to me, or it shouldn't really matter what kind of noise it's making. It just helps with it just give you a peace of mind and a way, or a good time to test your own skills, I guess. Test your own, what do you think it is, stuff like that. You can play a game with it. Okay, I think it's a broken lifter. I bet you it's a collapsed lifter, or I bet you it's a broken rocker, or I never heard anybody say I bet you it's sludged up. Because with as much information is out there now, it's hard to believe someone or people still do this. Okay, there is a scheduled maintenance interval for oil changes, people. Yes, there is. In fact, I'm gonna stroll it right on the screen now. This is a ProMaster, which means they likely use it for work. Okay, which means they do a lot of driving. All right, so what that tells me is quite a few miles gonna be put on it. All right, so you most definitely need to stay on top of your oil change. And also, as you can see here, there is a 62 TE transmission. I haven't really checked the fluid. I haven't gotten them to check it. I mean, I ain't even sure if they have the proper dipstick, but who knows what that looked like. I mean, because if you're not doing this, what are the likelihood of you servicing your transmission if you're not even changing your oil? Okay, forget this for a second. Just imagine it's easier to do oil changes than it is to do a transmission service. Okay, so I don't know, guys, I just can't stress the importance. Now, there's some debate out there whether every 3,000 miles is far too soon. You're essentially wasting oil and wasting money, but that is a debate. Okay, so depends. It means a lot of variables go into that. I really don't want to get into topics like that, because I tend to, or I was trained to go off whatever manufacturer suggests. Now, there's a lot of people take those suggestions and rearrange them and convert them into their own suggestions. Okay, if that suits you, fine. Like, for instance, my buddy Paul Joe, he said he uses 0W40, I think that is, in one of his cars. He was, the way he put it, if that's good enough for Hellcats, it's good enough for whatever else he's driving. Now, if that works for him, that is fine. Whatever you think is gonna prolong the life of your engine, go for it. Go for it. Just know those decisions you make, is on you. Because a lot of manufacturers now, or a lot of warranty return facilities now have where they can analyze fluid that was used in the car. Like, say for instance, when we send a transmission back, they have a way to analyze the fluid and can determine if it was ATF4 in this case, if it was a 62 TE. All right. So now I'm gonna show you one of the first ways you can check and see if a car has been poorly maintained. You know the job of a PCV valve, right? Positive crankcase ventilation. Okay, if this is easy to remove on the particular engine you worked on, I highly suggest you remove this first. It's like tattletale. This will snitch on the car owner. Okay, snitch on the engine. Have it been maintained? If you remove this one, fairly difficult. It's not as easy to get off as the other ones. But if you can get this off and then look at this, you can pretty much stop right there. Especially if you know how the shop you work at is going to operate. If you see sludge, most shops is, if you see sludge, it's engine time. But yes, this valve cover is caked up. It's hard to just remove the cap and tell that way, but so I highly suggest you remove the PCV valve. That's one of the ways I utilize. Now, something like a 2.7, I will remove the cam sensor. Okay, as you know, that cam sensor, it's hard to see the valve cover because of that baffle. It's hard to look inside the valve cover because of that baffle. But on a 2.7, this particular one, this PCV valve bolts right here. Simply remove the 2 screws. I'm talking about on the car if you haven't removed the valve cover yet. And if you see that, you already know your next move or what it should be. But yeah, the valve covers can be a telltale sign if you don't remove these. Now, some people go a lot step farther. If we was in a dealership, y'all know we all on the time constraint. Everything is fast. If I saw that, I automatically wrote up an engine, because we're not allowed to try to repair this. But anyway, guys, let me end this, wrap this up right here. That is exactly what we're going to do, order an engine. No sense of wasting time, because that will be extremely time consuming trying to clean. So guess what? If one thing you learn from this, guys, stay up on your oil changing. Now again, I know it's up for debate on how soon you should change your oil, but at least get it changed every so often. I rolled a screen by on what the recommendation for this particular engine is. I feel bad for that transmission, because like I say, if they're not doing this, what are the chances of them doing service on their transmission? We got to do better, people. All right, that's all I have, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video.